That's not coming through that mic. Why is that one not picking up? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Testing noise removal off.
Huh.
Noise removal off. Noise removal on. Noise removal on.
Weird. Okay. Well, it's not coming through that. Okay. Yeah, it's shouldn't be muted, but it is on that side. I don't know why. I have a fancy noise cancellation thing. There we go. I can turn off that thing now. Hello, hello, hello. And I've got a different camera as well. There we go. And I am still in the United States, yes. Let's see how that one works. I realize though I am going through multiple different. There we go. That's the fancy camera. There we go. There we go. And this fancy camera needs to be manually focused. Yes, yeah, I'm still in the States. And how's Myles doing? I'm sure that's going to be an often question. Myles is doing fine. He is fantastic. As far last I spoke to him a few months back now, I think. He's doing really well. If you don't know, he basically retired from the internet, which all the more power to him, really, truly, full screen. So he retired from, and people who are watching Twitch, you can't see the YouTube comments, so if it looks like I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to other people in there. Yeah, so he retired. He always said, you know, if his online stuff became a detriment to his actual job, like Pussycat, every time, he would choose his career over YouTube. And not to go into too many details or any specifics, he has retired. So having had a fairly sizable audience, it's pretty impressive that he was able to slip away when he was. I did get quite a few messages from people saying, where is he? Is he okay? He's fine. Nothing untoward happened to him, or nothing he needs our help with, right? So don't worry about him. I mean, I'm sure, and he's, he was always very positive about his community and stuff like that. It was everything else is happening. And it wasn't like, I think saw people saying, oh, did he get run off by Nazis? Or because the last thing he was really working on was the big talking about how the Holocaust was real. And a lot of Nazis and Holocaust deniers were arguing with him, obviously, that it wasn't. And the things we used to discuss on the podcast, there were quite a few people who weren't the most pleasant, but none of them were particularly dangerous personally or physically to you. But neo-Nazis be pretty dangerous. It's like the anti-vaxxers are dangerous to society and communities, but nothing like that happened though. So don't worry. Jeff reached out to me whenever it was a while back, and I filled him in what was happening, and then he did I was there when he did a send-off thing for him, so that's pleasant of him. But what are we doing here? Now, for some reason, I am streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, but only the multi-chat's only working for Twitch. So, let's see how the stream's going over here. So yeah, last time we did a catch-up video for League of Nerds was probably a couple years back now as well. We did a live stream at some point. About 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, Wednesday 14th, 2023. So Myles retiring was the reason everything was taken down. It was a case of, he was like, can we take everything that mentions me or has me present? And I obliged. I thought, yeah, that's fine. If he truly wants to retire, by all means, that's the best way to do it. Just clean slate of everything that was online, which is a shame because, I mean, I can hear my cat being sick over somewhere. We both really enjoyed making it. We had a lot of fun doing it. I got to make some, great connections and friends. But the risk of having an online, I was going to say persona, but it was, it was big enough that it was a case of like, if we left everything up, new people might start finding it, and he just wanted a clean break. Are the audio ones still up on Apple Podcasts? I actually don't know how to get rid of it. I should look at that. It's not so bad because it's not visual. I should figure out how we do that. Buck is now we get on to the actual gossip. Is Buck still drunk and homeless? I don't speak to Buck anymore. I don't think any of us speak to Buck anymore. Well, I know I don't, and I know Myles doesn't. I don't know who else is there to talk about him. But yeah, Buck kind of fell off the deep end. He after the podcast finished, I didn't really keep in contact with him, and then we started, started seeing he started basically on Twitter. He became a bit more, I don't know what's the best way to say this without, his political opinions and mine diversed where he seemed to become more of a I don't want to say alt-right because it's not necessarily like right thing, but like not trusting any of the media or anything that came from potentially reliable sources. Instead was sort of crowdsourcing information, and yeah, these things happen. Again, that wasn't anything to do with the reason why the podcast stopped or anything like that. But yeah, I haven't really spoken to him since then. So that's the real gossip. Yeah. So, and again, that's me. I don't know if that's what happened. Buck was always quite fond of trolling stuff. So, I don't know if he was doing it as I know he definitely started because he was always in the mind that you should at least look what everyone's saying, as if you just silo yourself off, you become, your information is flawed. When I first saw the scene, I was like, oh, maybe he's just, immersing himself in that environment to see it. Because for those of you who don't know, he wrote a book about going around the world and trying all sorts of different drugs, and that sounds kind of not that great of an idea. But he was also a teetotaler, so beforehand he wasn't drinking or taking drugs, so it was a fresh perspective, and he liked to immerse himself in different ideas and see what they were really saying. And when he first started having these posts, I was like, oh, that's maybe what he's just doing. He's ingratiating himself with conspiracy theorists and those sort of things to better understand them, but I really don't know. You'd have to ask him. Yeah, I'm no longer on Twitter or anything like that, so I don't know what he's up to. I haven't checked in. And yeah, it was after the podcast ended. It was I talked to him probably about 5 or 6 years ago was the last time I talked to him. And I was interested in doing maybe another podcast just while we had some time and stuff. This is pre-COVID. Yeah, pre-COVID. I was like, oh, you know what would be fun? We could do like a little limited series where me, Myles, and Natalie play D&D. And we'll just do like a little D&D game. That'll be real fun. It's really light work. We just have to, basically record 8 hours or so and have a little short campaign thing. I said it to send the idea to all three of them. I got 3 separate DMs back from all 3 of them, basically saying Myles and Bucket had a falling out about something unrelated to Buck's posts and stuff like that. So, and then Natalie was like, "Yeah, I don't really talk to Buck either really right now," and yeah, so that all fell apart. But there we go. That's what happens. Which is a shame, because we were all at some point quite good friends. Myles and Buck came to my wedding, so like they're in my wedding photos. I'm still, Myles and I are still friends. He's just offline now. Yes, weird, very weird. So no, Buck will not be joining us. Every time I see it, like, do I tell people? Do I mention it? Do I bring it up? And as I said, I don't know if what he's doing is, trying to be provocative, but that's not for me to work out. And I've got too many other things to do. I have to go check what is up with the Apple Podcasts. As a spoiler for people who are here, I didn't invite all of chat to my wedding. I would if I could have, but it was a pretty small wedding. It was like 40 people in the end, because we did it in the south of France, and I was a postdoc working in France and flat broke because French academia doesn't pay very well. That was as a spoiler. Part of the reason I wanted to get things a little bit right up and running here is I do have a pilot of a podcast coming out sometime soon. Hopefully, I need to get clearance. The pilot didn't get picked up, which is a shame. It would have been a really nice big podcast. It was, but I'd like to release it on this channel and having a few videos go up onto the channel and then doing it, give it a bit more traction. So I thought I'd revive the League of Nerds podcast channel just a little bit to get that up. Yeah. So in the meantime, I don't know why multi-chat is not picking up both chat feeds. It's only picking up Twitch. Can I see the YouTube chat on here? Multi-streaming, stream transition, multi-chat, and I had a YouTube chat thing somewhere. Tools, scene collection, profile doc, view, stats, tools. No. Don't know. Oh, okay. Maybe there. Twitch chat. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Something to figure out later, but at least it's actually going to both platforms. I can see myself on Twitch and YouTube, so that's great. That is grand. But let us. I thought I was playing a game last time I was streaming just on Twitch called the Roottrees Update. Roottrees? Is it the Roottrees or just Roottrees Update? Then it's the Roottrees. Let's get that running. Get that running. So yeah, I imagine as people come in, I will get the same question multiple times, and I'll try and summarize it in a more succinct manner. And not just ramble. Pass. So otherwise, I've been pretty good. Desktop audio is coming through. I don't know why I'm still using the exact same microphone, by the way, from the so this is a 12-year-old microphone now, and the same microphone stand, and it still to this day droops every now and again. We used to have Mike used to be continuously yelling at me to get on mic, and I was always too quiet. So he was always like, "You have to talk up into it, speak into it, really make out with the microphone, James." I was like, "But it keeps sagging." No. The new podcast is not with Sabine Hoffman. You'll find out soon who it was with. Again, it was a pilot, so it may or may not go forward. The current version of it's definitely not going to go forward, which is a shame. But it was really good. It was a really good podcast. It's one of the best things I've been involved with making in a long time. So it was nice. Something went to Bing or something. Saggy mics are the worst. What went Bing? Something happened. I can't see what happened. There's so many different panels open. Oh, see the lils. See the lils? Follow. Thank you for following me on Twitch. That's very kind of you. Right, I need to have that up and this up and that there. I see you there. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, I've not really watched much of Sabine's content. I recall maybe having seen one or two of their videos. I don't believe I follow them. I also don't follow... there's a guy who has spent a fair bit of time basically saying this is why she's wrong about this, etc., etc. Dave, Professor Dave or something. Turn the Roottrees down slightly. I've suggested some of his videos for students before in terms of like figuring out how some biochemical and biological processes work. I think he has like a series of videos on molecular microbiology, which are fine. Not fine, they're good. I know they did videos of debunking Sabine. And Sabine's whole story is kind of, it's... From my limited understanding of a thing she was talking about, was academia is hard and I failed after doing everything right. And if there's other things I'm missing from her story, I apologize. Professor Dave, thank you. Yeah, I've not seen his I don't have time. I do have time. I don't want to spend an hour and a half watching these things at the moment. When I'm not invested in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Sabine, from my understanding, Sabine's stick was I did everything right in academia and I still didn't make it through. And that's a very common story. And then I believe they had some weird... Sabine, again, had some questionable takes on like... sexuality and gender discussions and stuff, and I've not really dipped my toe into what she said, so I don't want to characterize her opinion on that. I can talk to the academia stuff and say, yeah, that's super common. Like, you can do really, really well and still get shit. Like, it happens. Yeah, so that's it. It seems like she has a bone to pick with academia, and that's I have a bone to pick with academia. It sucks sometimes, and saying things along the lines of the scientists don't really know what they're doing or what they're thinking or what they're saying, and they do this. I know she said something about. Again, I want to make sure I'm right here as best as I can. Best of my recollection, she said something along the lines of they are making up particles to try and get funding, to try and get models. that smacks of like science denialism. I'm not a particle physicist though, so maybe people are far more happy to stretch the truth of their particle physics. Yes. Yeah, professions are hard. And it's not even just that hard. Like, my job is great. It's difficult. I don't get paid enough to do it, but that's true for pretty much everyone. And I still get paid a lot better than a bunch of people doing less stressful and less demanding jobs. And academia is not like the holy grail of science. There are lots of really reasonable ways to do science outside of academia. It's just if you want to be involved in the training of PhD and graduate students, it's hard to do that outside academia. And if you want to do almost altruistic science, it's hard to do that unless you're like working for an institution or something like that. But yeah. I've not really dived into her opinions of lots of stuff. It's very easy to be contrarian, and the split that happened during COVID and a lot of or I should say the split that became more apparent during COVID in some skeptic type groups drove home. There's like a lot of people who just want to be contrarian, and some do it well, some do it in a way that is playful almost, and others are just like, oh no, they truly believe that the government is now trying to change their liberties and stuff. One of the people we had obviously on the podcast at some point a couple of times was Vance Crowe, and he kept amplifying voices of like not COVID denialists, but people were like, oh, we could do it this way instead. And I remember I watched, he was doing a podcast at some point, and I watched one of the episodes, and I was like, hey, Vance, this guy is completely wrong about a lot of stuff. It was another person who'd been in academia and sort of gone into industry afterwards. And I was like, this isn't true. What he's saying is that's not how academia works at all. There's lots of reasons to have misgivings about it. But what he's saying is contrarian just to be a contrarian. And yeah, had a lot of arguments about him with Vance, and he had him on a show at some point, and then it just his entire thing became contrarian as well. I was like, oh, this is a way to capture audience. It's my opinion on what's happening. If you're contrarian, you can capture those people, and sometimes those shows can blow up. And Myles and I were always very aware of the fact that we should never talk about anything that is like breaking news. We never wanted to be accused of being relevant. If that makes sense. So there we go. It's like, oh, this is happening, we should talk about this. If the closest we came was a couple times we talked about politics when the US election was happening, but it was more of a me and a Buck show. And even then, it wasn't the week before the elections. It was talking about how both things are sort of courting science, and one was and one wasn't. But yeah, so since the pandemic, it's become very clear that a lot of people who would have considered part of a skeptic community were just contrarian for the sake of being having an audience. And the people who did that, I don't really follow anymore. Anyway, let's play some Roottrees Are Dead. I'll continue blabbing along as we go. So if you haven't played this game, it is a family tree 'em up. So effectively, this group of people here are the Roottrees that they're talking about in the the title here. They are a family of very wealthy people who their grandfather, great grandfather, great great grandfather started a candy company called the Roottrees Candy Company, and they died in a plane crash. And someone has hired us to go through and figure out who all the living direct family members are who are alive left. So if they're in yellow, I've figured out, I know who they are. You have to say their name and their job and take a picture, and you go through evidence and figure out, and at some point I think this is going to get revealed. So I've been going through and trying to work out who all these people. These two, I don't know. I still maybe I've just got the pictures the wrong way around. Did I think that through? Maybe I just had the pictures the wrong way around. Because this is a redhead. These are the redheads, the side. That could be kind of strawberry blonde. And if they don't have a picture or a thing underneath, you don't have to have their name, but it can help sometimes. Like, I don't really need to know who Zachary Morden was married to to work out any of the other things. But still have to work out who these people are. I need to work out who that is. And I don't know why that one's not right. So when I get every four relatives I get right, it locks them in if they're correct. So Chris Rafferty, was he an artist? Okay, so it's been a few weeks since I played this, so I've got to get back into what happened. We have a bunch of evidence. Well, and this here, these numbers, which can you see on the screen? Yes. These numbers up here are how many people are linked to that thing. So there's still one Roottries apparently I can figure out from this evidence, but we're almost done here. So Chris Rafferty, let's look him up on the computer because we had him on Spider Search. Where was that? Rafferty Tunes. From the band page you find an inspiration of a famous Super Bowl ad campaign. Hello, Pepper. You can't be up here. Photos now, my evidence. This one. Clark was in the department store, so who was Clark Rafferty? Clark Rafferty, singer of Diamond LaRue. Oh yes, we worked this out, didn't we? Yeah. So his first wife, Daniela, his second wife, Jane LaRue, and then he married her in an affair and married his sister, Kim LaRue. But Chris Rafferty, Clark Rafferty, Chris Rafferty, he had a weird website at some point, ages and ages ago. Where did I find his thing? It's Clark Rafferty, Carl Rafferty. It's Root, Time Mag. That's a Trust Time Cue, Chris Rafferty. So he was an artist at this point. Okay, so So my third cousins includes Davy, Susan, and Bethany. Yearbook picture. So I did have those wrong around because that's a yearbook picture, isn't it? Well, it is 100% a yearbook picture. This one. Cho Maidito. Okay, so we got her. And this is the. That's not the schoolbound one. We want the new one. We got. Did we get any version of the book? 10 years later, yes. Say she is a student. K through 12. And then she's also a student. Ah, there we go. Okay. Locked in. Nice. I don't know who that was. Booyah. So who am I missing? Chris Rafferty. That baby. Them, and who else is and her? Okay, so that's not right. I didn't have her down. Madsen. Gwyneth. Chris Rafferty. Artiste. So he was in. Clark Rafferty was in advertising. Is he in the business book? Business Watch. Clark Rafferty. Is it Clark Rafferty? Rafferty. What's Clark Rafferty not on that? Okay. Modern Music Monthly predicts that will make this big. Da, 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 da. Great Uncle's record label. The youngest Kim is about to step into that one. Okay, so we've already got her in. It was nice seeing you. Yeah, I'll check out some of Professor Days when I have time. Again, I know he's done some good stuff with educational stuff. I didn't have the patience to sit down. Like, why would I watch something about him taking down or responding to Sabine stuff? And yeah, but I will have a look at it. Yeah, okay, by the full names. Diamond and Jamie touring with some famous faces. Ever heard of the Roottrees? And they looking to release an album sometime next year. Okay. So, Business Watch. Chris Rafferty. Butler County Times. Is he in advertising like his father? Silver Screen Magazine. Yeah, it is okay. No, it is an advertising firm. Roottrees Maple Super Bowl commercial from 1994 has a family bickering about in a department store, and the father bites into a Rootree Maple Crisp. Time starts and a jingle plays while he dances down the aisle. As he does, different things in the department store become Rootree candy. For example, a bed that the father collapses onto becomes a giant chocolate bar. Mm. Jim and Diamond. Jim and Diamond. Wolf there. Got him. We're down to only a few Roottrees left. I think I just put these two in as placeholders. And we know that's not right, so that means that has to be the other way around. If it was right, it would have come up. When the last round, I wouldn't have had to change it around. I do... Let me see if this is working now. Huh. Elias Emery. He's a mechanic. Mechanic. Let's look him up in the business of the pub in the oh yeah, that's his grandfather, yeah. I feel like there's a thing about them all being is this the generation that we're all free spirits, weren't they? This is the free spirit generation. So she's either a housewife or Madsen. Gwyneth Madsen. GW. Gwyneth Madsen. Is it Madsen? Yes. Nothing. Nothing. No, that one. This one. There we go. Sam, we've already covered Sam. But this is empty. Sam, revisiting the diary, Sam. History. I didn't even know Sam was a Roottrees. All my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman, has the same chance to grow up as Sam I've seen. This is for Gwyn never was. Different Gwyn. It's Ernie. Gwyneth has a green thumb of her money. Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother. Yes, okay. Sam's daughter, gardener? Farmer? And her adopted grandfather. Gwyneth has the green thumb. Farm's operation in the past is Samantha Roottrees as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to what Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all. It was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. That's why wouldn't Sam get money? Isn't she part of the trust? And she has palpable hatred of the five of Eliza and Gwyneth. Oh, hang on. I'm not sure I'll forgive us or Patsy for abandoning her. If I were her, I might never forgive them either. Even so, that seems to be more than just the two of them. She has no problem with us next gens. Has a palpable hatred for... Isn't that her daughter? Where's the other Gwyneth? Oh, no, so great. Okay, so great grandmother. Not that one. Okay. So the person who's trying to tell me there is Gwyneth. Campaign mailing. Oh, Jesus, still 5 ones. We've already got that. Stephanie Jones, Kyle. I know we don't have CI, but when it comes to Canada, CM, Stephanie Jones, Stephanie Jones. ¿Dónde está Stephanie Jones? Where is she? Where have we gone? Oh, she's Landon. Right. CM, Karen Morden. So Mark Landon. She was adopted by someone. And if I remember correctly, her mother was gay. Stephanie Landon. I didn't run the election. I've already been here, apparently. I don't know if we're on the front page of the account. In past, opposed to corporations, policy trees, maple farms. I am not a fighter. I want to bring love to the world. Landon. Landon. Same as before. Okay, so Carolyn. Landon. You just told me he was in there. Didn't you just tell me? Local business owner Brian Jones. Okay, here we go. Now, over the years as well, small article from 95 about Jones graphics and print. Cool. Articles of place. We'll look that up in a minute. Oh! Website. Hang on, let's just get through this first one first. Brian just taken over his father's print company. After 20 years, Brian seems to not have let it go to waste his marketing opportunities during the internet fortune. Not sure how life I told me everything there is to know when it comes to getting the job done right and getting it done quick. We've been printing the staple of Butler County for years, and even the Butler County Times used us for their coupon pages for a few years. Thanks, by the way, he laughs. But still, when you're a new client or not, nothing will change. Oh, his dad must be. How many other Joneses I got? We've got no other Joneses? Oh, I don't need her. I need her adopted mother. Okay, so forward this one. So the website seems fancy. Even has frames. This is set in like 1998, so that's why it's fancy for frames. So addresses, hours, a few examples, clients' work. Okay. Yep. Oh, so it did the Miracle Network tour flyers. Oh, cool. We don't have either of those. Roottrees Motors. Should have seen. Okay, well, let's look in the Roottrees Motors. One of them is mechanic. Hey, there's an ad for Roottrees Motors. 3 versions. Okay. We have a new name. Wilkins Motors is now Roottrees Motors. Roottrees Motors will serve the entire Pittsburgh area. Funny noises come in. This is the 6th one. Tessa Roottrees. 50 years. Okay, so that's gonna be over here. Tessa, and I did the other way around. Tessa Roottrees, and she is a mechanic. And but her mother would have been Wilkins. Catherine Wilkins. Ching. That probably means that one's still baby. And we're down to the wow here. Roottrees Motors. Yes. She's a mechanic, right? She wasn't like, it wasn't just our newest fixer. Like, yep. Okay. What was the other thing we didn't have? Butler School District. Let's search the Butler County. Okay. So it makes sense. That's not so current. The website has a thank you message. Thank you for 998, 1699. The cost list, but none of them seem relevant. Where the cost list accrue and two things that poster and additional and November Studios. Who's November Studios? Okay. Instead of no mention, maybe they should have called it no mention shoot. So why did it say stood out? Oh, hang on. Who's November? Haven't I got someone called November? No November Roottrees somewhere? Yes, yeah, I already had that. I knew she was a dancer. Yeah, okay. What are you? Chris Rafferty, because I reckon those two are right. It's these two I need to work out. And that's not the right photo. I reckon that's him. And then that's going to be, I had that, and we'll sort those around. Yeah. What was Miracle's wife called? Eloise. April, Joe Marone, Nicole Smith. None of these names are jumping out. That's why I got, because her name's Carolyn Morden, not. Okay. Top name. Okay, that one, I think that one's done. Sam, okay. Who did she marry afterwards? P-Flag. Friends are lesbians. Okay, yeah, so she was gay. P-Flag. Yeah, it's definitely a baby. Rafferty. Chris Rafferty. Miracle Network tour flyers, Butler County Holiday Light posters. I'm gonna get a quote today. Children of Eden. Children is a musical with a song by Stephen Schwartz, a game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnson. Really liked it. Easter egg, okay. Search who was performing it. Okay. Thanks. We checked that already. It was choreography by so and so. That doesn't say who performed it. I wonder how else I get here. Well, right. Do I know what his advertising firm is called? He has an advertising thing, Clark Rafferty. Somewhere. I saw it somewhere. His advertising company. Sure, I saw it somewhere. What about that? Yes. Right, so Roottrees. Productions. Those two. Other Trouble. Rafferty Tunes, a website about Rafferty Tunes, Clark's advertising firm. It's called Rafferty Tunes, yeah. It's not in. Why is it not on Business Watch or Butler County? Okay, well, I'm definitely got one of these wrong. Says she has a green thumb of her mother, but it's just her great aunt telling her that, isn't it? He was an artist at some point, Chris Rafferty. Jingle. One of them said they didn't want to be a jingle writer. One of either Jim and Roottrees and Rafferty, one of them didn't want to be a jingle writer. Oh, hang on. Drafty LaRue. Not. Yeah. Session work. Great uncle's record labor. Great uncle's record. They're not related to the family. Well, they could be married at that point, and then that would be their great uncle, wouldn't it? No. Great. This would be a great uncle level. Jane DeVecchio. Jane DeVecchio. Jane DeVecchio. Where's my list of names? Jane. No. Okay. Is there Morden in there? Monroe. Okay. No. Maybe he's still in college. There we go. God damn it. I got this first way around now. Cool. Hey, end of the game.
To my genealogy genie. If you're reading this, it means you've locked in 49 blood relatives. Congratulations. I knew you could do it. There are 2 more entries on the family tree I'd like you to consider. These last 2 are optional. You can summon me whenever you wish. However, this will end your search and reveal the truth. So make sure you're ready.
Okay. Ooh. Who is EC? Well, it's going to be... the farm hat. Where's that book? Who's a confirmed bachelor? I've never met EC in person, but much referred to him as confirmed bachelor. He is kept from us. Sam has to grow up in the house with his roommate, Mr. Miller. Miller? Miller? Mr. Miller. There's a picture I can get somewhere. It'll be this generation of 5 pieces. Ooh. Oh, you. Huh. Elias Jr. Clancy Edward. They like to give themselves the same names. Elias C. Elias C is there. Ernest Jr. Okay. What was the name of the farm? Anderson Farm. I mean, he looks like... They look like twins. One just has a beard. And if they were twins knowing this family, probably like reverse names or something. Didn't one of them say... Edward Clancy, didn't she say something about her father's name being reversed? Like Eleanor, only had one child. She's going for Elias. That's her. Her mother's family was a court Cassell. I've got that right. Yep. Pop was head of the Roottrees company. Discovered the Roottrees internal show happenings. 5 pieces. Da, 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 da. Seems to be focused specifically on Lawrence family member Gwyn, who is on the notable Roottrees list. It seems everyone has something to complain about Gwyn. As an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her it's been to watch she's 3 young brothers didn't feel like a blessing. Oh my sister never had to even what a mess. Okay. Grandfather Elias announced he would step down the present Roottrees Candy Company. And she's a successor. I wish I'd been in the final wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Clancy is her father. Or that Clancy. Probably that Clancy, because she always calls him Pop. So Clancy didn't end up being the second president? Who's the second president then? Zachary. Okay. Zach, even though his surname doesn't match the Kennedy, he's the firstborn son. Or firstborn 5-piece. I'm not sure how relevant to running a company. My granddad has always had a very particular view when it came to bloodline. Sam, blah, 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 blah. As he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John Wills. There we go. John, I knew he was there somewhere. All 3 are on the books. Miracles, yeah, that's not my brother. I was thrilled. The other day, nothing explains why an outsider cozy into family affairs, especially when it's a bloodsucking syrup. But why does that granddad make an exception? Okay, so it was John Miller. And this seems to be like Edward Clancy or Elias Clancy or this is Catrol. Yeah, okay. I could have figured out she was there. It made the beginning of the century. Cost quite a lot to attend the sales every time. Going to take the moment they go on sale. However, you learn that the farm offers discounts on Tuesdays. Innocent Farm. First time farm. Yes. Oh, she married. Okay, I could find out there as well. Different Gwyneth, because of course it would have been early 90s, 1900s. So, confirmed bachelor. Keaton, who's TRS? It's gonna be something like Edward Clancy Reach. I'm sure I saw something. I mean, it's not really a murder mystery, more of like a family tree had done it. Like, so it starts off with, I'm almost basically right at the game. I'm trying to work out the randomest member of the family. You start off finding out that this family, section of the family here, died in a plane crash, and someone wants you to fill in the family tree to try and prove who are the living descendants. It's pretty fun. I'm also trying this on the multi-stream to my old YouTube podcast channel to make sure it still works. but for some reason the multi-chat's not working. So I can see the Twitch one, but I can't see the YouTube one on the multi-chat. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. I'm still keeping an eye on the YouTube one. But I'm still trying to work out who this is. I remember something about names being switched around on that generation. I thought it was in her diary, but maybe it's in, because it's only like a long bit of writing. See the revisited one 10 years later. Between the release of the release of the last time. Sam had her children were not meant to receive monetary. The scandalous secret came out. Franny Sam was the limited daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christiansen. Steel mogul. 16, but she got pregnant, and after that, the father refused to let she see her again. Sent to the Roottrees. EC. This away. First place, even though she was not part of the Clancy Trust, he wanted to include the family affairs. Sort of led to initial. So, but she is a direct family descendant. Sam was a Roottrie. All my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwyn never was. Only kids are lucky to have her. Ernie and the kids and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie and the kids. Ernie, yes, okay. Ernie and those kids. Freeing out Sam, splitting Patsy, the jetpack hair, It's hard to explain his face when he read the farm. Operation would pass to Samantha Roottrie. For as long as she was willing, I got flashbacks with Zach's bit present. Mother framed it to calm it down. Mother refrained it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all. He was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Fancy for that life. Clark's got married again. No Roottrie has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob and Gwyn divorced Wild Bill. So she had a second. Like, even I can blame her for that. Seeing what he gets to at the start. But neither of us ever took a second husband. Okay. How many similar names there are? And I get it. There are 4 Elias, for Pete's sake. That's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town. Eli's. I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Uncle Junior, Miracle, Eli, and Eli C. Always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyn's father were named Edward Clancy, or Clancy. Were named Edward and Clancy, so you can see where my pop's name came from. Where's the firstborn son? Okay. Yes, okay. Certified male. Yes, okay. It is Edward Clancy Roottrie, yes. Yes. Edward Clancy Roottrie and John Miller. Close it off. But first, That doesn't matter. Oh, yeah.
So, you thought EC was Edward Clancy Roottrees? And his partner was John Miller?
I'm pretty sure they were, otherwise we wouldn't have recorded that voice line.
That's exactly what I needed to hear. I'm Sam Madsen, though
Yep.
you know me as Samantha Roottrees. Yep, I got old. The only picture you have of me is from 40 years ago. My book tells the truth about Elias, the 5 pieces, and my parents. Not my biological parents, Elias Jr. and Patsy. My fathers, Edward Clancy Roottrees and John Miller. By now, you've either read Lauren's diaries, or you're just an incredible guesser. Lauren was right. I hated the 5 pieces. She just didn't know my full reasoning. My father, Edward Clancy, was a great man. But his identical twin Clancy,
Yeah, there we
and
go.
his father, Elias, were not. At age 16, my father was caught kissing a farmhand. Back then, they wouldn't even acknowledge gay people existed. Having one in the family was unthinkable.
This phone doesn't have a 0.
The same year, I was born. A bastard granddaughter. 2 stains on Elias's perfect family. He decided to fix both. They tried to erase Edward Clancy. They even removed his 5 pieces flavor.
Oh.
His name was deemed a dirty word. He became EC.
Yeah. M for melon. I knew there was something about the time. I said this is the first one. The time thing doesn't make sense.
We were sent
Okay.
to the farm, and the 5 pieces did their best to keep the next generation away, to isolate me from family.
Great.
But Elias couldn't erase us from existence. Laura never realized I was the little girl from her diary. Who could blame me for being so confused that day? Her father was an exact copy of mine, except without the beard.
Yep.
And while the 5 pieces celebrated a new factory, farmhands did the real work. It's a fluke there's a picture of my father at all, but there he is in the background. The 6th 5-piece.
Sixth. 5
Patsy returned, and things got complicated for Elias. She fought for my freedom, from a life she deemed unworthy. Elias relented, so long as I never learned the truth or receive inheritance. They knew I'd help my father.
Mm-hmm.
At Elias's will reading, I learned part of the truth. The rest I learned at home. I began to hate the 5 pieces. My father made me stay silent. He was worried history would repeat, and that his grandchildren would become outcasts. His fears weren't unfounded. As you know, my son Ernie died a few years ago. He had trained to take over as president.
Mm-hmm.
But due to family politics, or perhaps hubris, it went to Guy. A real Roottrees. He nearly ruined the company. When Ernie took over, he saved the operation. Over 13 years, he made the family billions. Ernie earned about $36.
Yep.
They got by on Debbie's salary, but when he fell ill, he couldn't pay his medical bills. His death was my tipping point. Originally, my book was meant to expose Elias's hypocrisy. Until I started to look into the other dirty laundry.
I didn't read this book. Television screenwriter. French court seems to be allergic. Basil from Scummy. Oh, okay.
Ron tried to have Robbie removed from the trust.
That's what he
but
did.
Couldn't. Robbie was a blood relative, even out of wedlock.
Uh-huh.
That sounded familiar. The Clancid Trust that Elias established was designed to secure his family's future. His entire family's future. He couldn't write exceptions in without the whole thing falling apart. My book can definitively prove that Elias was not the paragon of virtue he's heralded as. And that my daughter and granddaughters are just as much family, at least in the eyes of the Trust, as the Clancid Trust will...
Oh. They can decide what to do with their shares, but I'm old and I'm not in it for the money.
Truth has been eating away at me for years, but now I can set the record straight, thanks to you. As someone who enjoys searching for the truth, you might understand the power it has. Whitewashing the past to protect the status quo can lead to repercussions in the present and future. So thank you. You knocked it out of the park. With your expert work, the truth will come to light. And when it does, my share of the Clancid Trust is yours. Like I said at the beginning, set for life. Looking at the family tree on your wall, now with my father's, everything finally feels complete. Unless a whole lot more Roottrees somehow appear from thin air, this is the last time I'll come knocking. Thanks again, and so long.
We're rolling, rolling, rolling on down to the sea.
Saturday night and you're quite a sight.
The world might be burning, but I'm feeling right.
Making ends meet.
Ooh. Another mystery solved. Rootree Mania. Cool. I'm a secret Rootree. So as I say, I don't know what happens when the first family in a whole new mystery. Okay, well. Yeah, I'm done. Let's have a quick look at this, what this looks like. Uh-oh. She's back. Oh, someone else. That's Clark Rafferty.
I'm
Yep.
Clark. Probably not who you expected to be knocking, but life's funny sometimes.
Knocking.
You've
Yep.
done well staying anonymous. It took us a while to track you down. A lot has happened in the last year. Far too much of it public. But there's stuff going on behind the scenes, too. I never wanted to be president. I'm not great with stress. And with my mother's deteriorating I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm not here for sympathy. I'm here because part of the fallout of Sam's book is that everyone's coming out of the woodwork. Now that it's public knowledge, the Clancid Trust covers any Rootree despite their history with us. A lot of potential cousins have surfaced.
Yeah.
You may have seen that man on the cover of News Time.
Use time.
It was a disaster for us.
Okay.
Miracle went and made it all about himself. The long and short of it is a lot of potential cousins just showed up. Sam's helping some of them. But she's not really going about it the right way. And she's not taking calls from anyone in the family. I let it slip through a mutual friend that I found you, and I was stopping in. It's manipulative, but I'm hoping she'll reach out to you. You can let her know I'm on her side. In the meantime, if you're willing, I can share our files with you. Pass them along to Sam if she reaches out. I'm genuinely hoping she'll realize I'm an ally.
He's not an ally.
Feel free to do your own research. I've been told you enjoy things like this. To each their own.
If this is like a year later, or even a few months later, am I now like a billionaire? Oh, okay, all this another time. But what have we got? Possible infidelity number 3, family 3 updated, infidelity. Okay. Okay. Something about miracle. Who's his wife? Helen Lennon. Who else didn't I know? Who are those? Student. Eloise. Okay. Well, with that, it's time to call it, I guess. Let's see what is on the Twitch. Anyone I can send Twitch people over to? Keaton, I really don't know what TRS is, so if you... where should we go? Wow. All right. Let's do this. I'll send you this way. Raid. Might as well. Zelda or... let's go there. Send you off to watch some Red Dead Redemption. Right, I will do this another time. I'm going to do a couple more on the actual League of Nerds stuff. More similar to some of the older stuff, I think. Just to get the channel ready for an upcoming pilot of a podcast that's going to go up. But until then, thanks for swinging in. I will send YouTube people over there now. And... oh, it's hi, it's a full-time job. Nice to see you there. Just say hello to Pomp Wasp Pass. They make some cool woodworking stuff. And he seems like a nice guy. So give him some love for a minute. I will catch you all when I catch you next. Goodbye. And on YouTube, we're going to stop